Let's get going. Good morning, everyone. This is Stacy Turner with our DMOpro Zoom. So thankful that you're here this morning. We just got back from a couple-week vacation and we were at the beach and then we were on a cruise. I was telling the ladies here that I still feel like I'm kind of moving a little bit, hoping that goes away. This is our second day home, but we had a great time. I don't know if you've ever been on a cruise before. We're not sure it's our thing. We are definitely vacationers that like to go and see and do and experience. So to have to sit in the sun for like a couple days, we were like, I don't know if we like this. Like, what can we do? So we kind of got a little bit bored, but it was great because it made me, just unplug. And I could get messages in, but I couldn't reply back, which was funny. So I could see things that people were sending me and you're like, I can't answer them back, but it was kind of nice. Even Voxer messages would come in and I could see what, the pop up on my phone, but you couldn't click through it. So I have to say that was nice to be able to just put it away and not worry about it. But one of the reasons I was really able to do that is because the week before I left, I really hit my DMO hard. I wrote things out. I had a lot on my mind and my plate and business wise that needed to get done. And so it wasn't even a week. It was like 2 days of serious intentional work that got this out of the ideas into the practical, got me on the phone, got me texting people, reminders sent to my customers, to where really I could just unplug and just really enjoy myself. So thankful for a tracking system and a planner that's built for us to be able to do that. So there was one evening that I was watching HGTV, and I don't have cable at home because I would watch HGTV like all the time. I already know that. So I won't let myself have cable because, and not that you can't get to those shows if you want them, but it's just not as easy as turning on the TV to see it. But I love all things decorating, all things, homeowners and house flips and that sort of thing. And there was a show that was on, and it was a Love It or List It is what it's called. I don't know if you guys have seen it. And there was something in there that was said that I was like, that's really interesting. They were talking about remodeling this house and to be able to sell it for a higher profit or to make it to where the family would want to stay in it. And the guy that was doing the construction, they were up in the attic and there was this little small space and they were trying to decide, the homeowners wanted it to be into a bathroom for her parents when they came to stay. And he was looking at all the things that had to be done. And it was a lot. It was a smaller space. It was an attic space. And he was like, look, the electricity lines are here. The walls are angled. You're going to get a bathroom, but we're going to have to move the AC, duct work. We're going to have to move the electric lines. We're going to have to put, new subfloor in. And he was just saying all the things. And she was kind of getting irritated at him for all the, adding up, because she's thinking, cha-ching, 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 money. And he said, you really need to think about it. Is the juice worth the squeeze? And I thought that was funny, a funny way to say that. But then it just stuck in my head. And all week I was thinking about just different things. And is the juice worth the squeeze? And she said, I've never heard somebody say that, but I kind of like it. And I was like, I do too. And I thought, how does that apply to just, a lot of things in life? Is the effort worth the result, is basically what that's saying, right? Is the juice, or is the result worth the effort? Is the juice worth the squeeze? How much effort are you going to have to put into it to get what you want out of it? And is it worth that much effort? And there's things that, we can have in our life that come across, decisions that we need to make, or things that are presented to us. Can you help out with this? Or can you be a part of this? Or will you, volunteer on this or whatever, to where you're like, is the effort that I'm going to put into that, is that worth the result that can come out of that? And sometimes it's an easy yes. Yeah, sure, I'll help out with that. That's no big deal. And then other times it's a harder decision, that is going to take quite a bit of my time. Is that really something my heart's devoted to? Is that something that I really want to be a part of? And, it's okay to really review that and say, no, that's just not really what I want to put my time into. It's not worth the squeeze that it's going to put onto my calendar or onto my family's schedule or to my family's life. So we can think about that sort of as scheduling. Even in relationships, is it worth the effort to put into, getting better at communicating, getting better at resolving issues, getting better at conflict, just different areas that you may find that there's struggles. Is it worth the time and the effort it's going to take to get better at that? Is the juice worth it? But also I was thinking how much it applied to our business. I mean, is it really worth the squeeze to do this business well? And it's something that we kind of all got to answer for ourselves. And there's different seasons in life, right? To where we can, really work things and be super intentional about conversations and about events and about follow-up and with new team and helping them with their events and their conversations and their time. And then there's other times where, life is squeezing you and the best you can do is keep up with customers that are shipping and, touch base with your team, even sort of on a shallow end. But if we're not careful, what can happen is we kind of slide into this mindset of, sure, I'm open to sharing Juice Plus. If it comes up, I'll share it with someone. I'll, bring about the conversation. If I see the need in somebody, of course, I'm going to share that with them and I'll be open to that. And a lot of times you'll find newer people will say that, at first they're kind of excited, but then they're like, oh, wait, I have to invite to an event. You want me to host an event? And they're like, if Juice Plus comes up, I want to help people. If it comes up, I'll be open to sharing it, but I just don't really want to do this as a business. So that's fine too, right? Somebody has the choice to do that. But if we're here and we really are wanting to build a business, then we have to be careful we don't slide into that mindset. And in the summer, it's really easy to slide into that just because of busyness. And I don't want to be in my office. I want to be out in my pool. I want to be outside. I want to be doing things with, with the kids, and I want to be about life and at the water park. Courtney had shown us some pictures. She had her DMO planner at the water park, and, she was just there with the kids and they were playing, and she took a couple minutes to write some things down. It's about being out and about that we're going to have conversations with new people. So it's kind of this balance between having this free life, this life of freedom and flexibility that we all love that Juice Plus gives us, but yet, with too much freedom, then we end up just sitting by the pool all day and not getting anything done. And so what is that balance? To me, that balance really comes from having a system that allows us to really work hard or squeeze that time, if you will, out energy out of us and concentration and focus. It's not hard work, right? What we're doing isn't hard, but to really focus on even just a couple hours a day. And if you don't have a system and you don't have a plan, then it's just whatever goes along. And I think that's why everyone's really loving those power hours, right? Because it's a system. They're telling you, okay, for this many minutes, this is what we're going to do. And this is who you're going to reach out to. It's the camaraderie of having other people around you. And even if it's on Zoom, that other people are doing it. It's at a set time. So you're like, I got to be there at a set time. And when it is a set time, then you don't let other things creep up into your calendar. And for example, there were some things I need to talk to the guy that works on our pool, and it was right. I mean, he showed up right here. If I was on my own and I didn't have you guys on Zoom, I would say, oh, okay, I'll do that later. I'll do that in a few minutes. I'll get on that call, or I'll just watch the recording. But because I have a commitment to you guys, I was like, I'll have to text him, and, maybe he'll still be here when we're finished. But I made it a stronger commitment because we have us, and it's something I've committed to you guys. You guys have committed to me. And I really think that's why you guys, or why so many people are loving the power hours, because of those things. It's intentional squeeze of our time and, being there and being focused and being present. And I think it pairs so well with our planner because we're able to, track those conversations in a format that it doesn't just get lost or stay only on the computer in a Facebook thread that can get lost just as easily. So I would love to hear from you guys. When you think of that sentence, is the juice worth the squeeze in our business? What comes to your mind? Like, what has been the juice that you have received from this business that you would say, oh, it's definitely worth the squeeze of my time to have done this? Or even if you guys want to share with us maybe some ways that the DMO planner has been working for you, or that you have been finding success with the power hours, just anything you guys want to share along with that concept today. Does anyone want to share with us or have questions?
Stacy, I'll go. I was going to mention the power hour too, and there are so many out there, and it's so powerful. Really, if you can just get even 1 hour, if you're going to be having a busy day and you can do 1 hour, it's incredible what you can get done. But the other thing is, I love it, is the juice worth the squeeze. And I think if we can think of it, sometimes we don't squeeze, a batch of oranges all at once. We might just squeeze one, right? And it's just a matter of squeezing yourself into a conversation that maybe you wouldn't have had before. I think if we can just realize we share all the time, we have conversations, like you said before, is we get paid to talk to people. And so that's the squeeze for some people.
Yeah. And I think that that's really wise, Patty. We would like a full pitcher of orange juice, right, from it. But a lot of times this is one conversation at a time. It's one orange at a time. It's one half of an orange at a time. It's coming back to the next orange the next day. And we would love to do an event and have 20 of the 100 people that we invited to come to it. But realistically, there's probably going to be 3 to 5, 1, none, like it's just one conversation, one person at a time. And sometimes we can kind of let that become mundane and don't take that as serious. But sometimes we have a whole pile of those that we work through and get, a lot of juice out of that. So that's a great example. Anyone else?
I'd say something, Stacy. I'm Debbie Schmidt. I am involved in a lot of BNI chapters. I'm a support coach. And I will tell you, the power hours for me, I just started them last week. They are such a freedom to know that, number one, I like people telling me what to do. But they give you direction. You're focused. I mean, you do have to do some things ahead of time, know for events and things. But then when you're done, you've accomplished that for the day. Even if you're doing another one that day, it is just really a sense of encouragement and leadership. So that's a squeeze that's definitely worth it.
Yes, the accomplishment of like, I did that. I got that done. I made those calls. I texted those people. I invited to the event, and you're doing the things that are going to move the mark. I mean, that's what really, if we're going to do business work, we need to do business work that is going to get results. We don't want to just organize our desk all day and send a couple of happy fluff messages to people. That's not really working, right? And having direction is so important. So I'm so glad you guys are finding results of that. Is anyone using the power hour and the DMO planner together to where they're finding that it's a great place to write down the conversations and track that? Or how are you guys working that part out so far?
Stacy, I'll go if you can hear me. It's Lisa.
Yep, we can
What
hear you.
I found is I wasn't doing that very well. And the other day I'm like, okay, I am not tracking conversations well. So then, like last night when I was preparing my planner for the week, I started writing down exactly who I need to call as a follow-up, as a contact in general, all those different things, as a customer that I wanted to take care of. So I'm kind of organizing better that way. And then when I can't, like the times aren't good for power hours, I'm getting better at being consistent at doing it myself, even when I can't get on one, because before I was writing it in my planner and my personal power hours, but I wasn't always doing it. Something would come up. So for me, it's helping me to just have that consistency again that I was kind of losing all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's really good. Thank you, Lisa. For sure. Anyone else want to share? how are you marrying those two together?
Stacy, this is Nancy. I haven't really put them together, and I haven't been able to get onto the structured calls because just of time commitments in other places. However, I've been doing myself with a couple other people in the evenings. But with my DMO planner, I find that when I am using it, I am much more consistent. I'm much more aware of what I am and am not doing. So, like I said, I haven't really done them together at this point. But when I finish a power hour, I can do my to-do list on my planner to this is what I need to do now. This is my next step. This is what I have to do next. So I love the planner, and I love that even just the planner kind of makes me more accountable.
Right. And I don't know, thank you, Nancy, for that. I don't know if you guys have ever done this where you go on vacation and it's like you come back and you're like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know. I don't know how to do this business. I'm like out of the loop. It's not even true, but it becomes this big thing. Like, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I'll do laundry. I will, organize the house back to, put the back, I will make the bed. I will feed the dog. And then you're just trying to get things back in order in life. But in my head, I would just have this kind of odd thought process of like, I don't know where to start. And it would take me just do something, like you have an event. When's the next event? Okay, let's start inviting to that, like just something to get the train rolling. And then within, 10 minutes, I'm like, oh, I do know how to do this business. And it's like, okay, I'm fine. So activity action is always going to bring you back to, you do know how to do this business. It's not a complicated, it's a simple process. It's not always easy because it's harder in our mind, what we're saying in our heads, but it's not like hard work, like, I don't know, digging holes and moving, train track or something like that. I would much rather be doing this. So it's talking to people, it's new conversations with people. It's following up with those people we've talked to. It's, having great customer care, connecting with our team, doing three-way calls, doing activity, posting on, social media, inviting to events. Like that's what our business is. And yet sometimes we overcomplicate it. What I'm thankful for walking into this new business week after having been on vacation for 2 weeks is I know exactly where to start. I get to go back to this page. This was I get to pick up right where I stopped, and I have a whole list of names. Who did I invite to the event already? We have one this Thursday. Who had I sent videos to that last week when I was really working hard? I didn't follow up with them for 2 weeks. I was out of pocket. That's going to build who I follow up with. Do I have any customers that still kind of have loose ends on their orders? What about my team members? Who's close to their promotion? What are their points looking like? I've got that here. I just pick up right where I have, because it's not just in my mind, it's on paper now. And I'm, if I look back a couple weeks, I have easily in 30 minutes, I could have a whole week worth of DMO already planned out, and I just highlight as I go. And so I like what you said, Nancy. Sometimes when we're consistently using it, we're like, yeah, I'm on top of things. When we've kind of gotten behind of using it, I don't know. I feel like so often it's easy just to throw the baby out with the bathwater, as people say, this DMO thing doesn't work for me and I'll just move on. Well, it's a daily thing. It's a weekly thing, and it's okay to pick it back up again. And okay, now I'm going to do this week. And so if reactionary, meaning as you have the call and you write it down, works for you, do it that way. That's fine. You're tracking the information. So then it would be like a DMO tracker. Maybe think of it that way. If you want to plan out your week ahead of time, then use it as a planner where you write in people's names ahead of time and then you highlight as you have the conversations, as you saw on my pages there. It can work both ways. But, you may find you're more productive when you plan ahead. I mean, that's just a crazy statement. Who would ever think that that could be a thing, right? Like, but we're often so reactionary. We're just like, write it down as we go along. So it can go either way, but I really find I am more productive when I plan ahead and I write it out and then I highlight it through. So just pick it back up. This is a new day, a new week, pick it back up, open your planner. If you're lost on the months and your, planner says that you're still in April, rip out the month pages and don't worry about what month it is. It's a new week and just work from a week page and then just keep moving forward with it. So anyone else want to share? All right. Any questions? Does anyone have a question for us? We kind of haven't opened up this in a question time. Any conversation you guys are having that you're kind of like, I don't know how to answer. I'm not sure where to take this, or objections that you've had somebody lately share with you that you guys would like some advice on? Anything?
I have one
go.
quick question.
Go ahead, Lisa.
Go ahead, Lisa.
All I wanted to ask is, when you said something earlier, Stacy, one of the things I find frequently, and I'm sure other people find it, I just want to see if I'm on the right track, is when you tell someone you're going to call them back at a certain time and they don't respond, they don't answer, which is fine, and maybe they got busy, but then you text them and say, hey, I called you like I promised. Is there a better time, best time? And you just you don't hear back from them a bunch of times. How frequently do other people check in with people? And so that you're not taking them off your list, but so you're not being annoying.
Yeah, that's a great question, Lisa. I think that's something kind of we all find the balance from. I do try, if I'm not getting a response, I'll try to take it back to what their need was, like what were they excited about, and remind them of that part. Also just giving them some grace of like, hey, I know you're super busy. This is a crazy month. And then if I'm just not getting any response, I'll just kind of like not message them specifically about the product, but then I will go back to putting them on the event list and I'll let them know of the next event. And then if I'm still not getting a response, sometimes I will just go back to where I say, look, I definitely don't want to be a pest. I know we had a great conversation and you were super interested because of this reason. I also know that you're busy, but I don't want to keep bothering you if your interest has changed. I can definitely take you off of my list or just let things ride. I can check back with you a couple of months, but just wanted to know I was still thinking about you. What would you like me to do? Always end it in a question. If you want a response, end it in a question. Otherwise, it's just a text message that comes through. But if you want a response, end it in a question. And sometimes they'll say, no, I'm sorry. I've just been super busy. And, thank you for reaching back out to me. I am interested, just not right now. Or, or they'll say, yeah, I'm just really not interested. Go ahead and take me off the list. If it's somebody in person, a lot of times when you see them in person, like you've been having these messages and then you see them in person, they're like, oh, hey, I'm so sorry. I haven't answered you back. So I love running into people that way. But I had two on my list, two couples. I had spoken at a Lions event, and it was Lions Club, and I had shared, and the husbands were interested and gave me their wife's information. And I was like, oh, that's so hard, because like now I'm cold calling their wives, and their wives heard no information at all about it. Just like, oh, my husband says I need to eat healthier. Great. Like it's just seemed like this is not going to go well. I don't know them. I've never met them or anything. So I had both of the husband and wife's numbers. So I would text them both in a text message. And there was two couples. I got no response. 4 different times, I invited them to events, like no response from husband or wife. So I was like, dang, do I have the wrong numbers? Like I double checked the numbers. Everything was fine on that. And so then I was like, oh, switch it up. Find them on Facebook. So I found him on Facebook and sent him a friend request, and then sent a message just to the wife in there. And I was inviting to an event. Both of them responded within like 5 minutes of me sending the Facebook Messenger. And I was like, why didn't I think of that? So sometimes it is switching it up. If you're texting, move it to Facebook. If you're, Facebook messaging, text instead. If you're texting, give them a call. So sometimes that can be just switching it. I have found to be helpful. And neither one of them could come to the event. So I sent them videos and now they're on my follow-up list. So, I mean, that was back in January that happened. And it's now July that I finally got a response. So you hate to just say, well, I guess they're not interested and they're off. But I find having an event to go back and invite them to over time can be a way to bring the conversation back in without it just being like, what do you think of the video? Did you think of the video? Did you think of the video? Or have you watched it? Anyone else have advice for Lisa?
Yeah, Stacy, I want a couple things. Is one, if you try to reach out to them, 3 or 4 or 5 times, sometimes it's fun to get kind of silly and just say, hey, I feel like I'm stalking you. Please let me know, Or the other thing is, if you feel like they're not replying, is take it away from Juice Plus and just truly be concerned, hoping that they're okay and everything's okay with their family and just haven't heard back. And I think a lot of times I'll get responses when it's not somebody that I'm really pursuing for the product or the business. It seems like all of a sudden they're like, oh, cool, it's a relationship too.
Yes, for sure. Take it to something personal every time. And if you have nothing, look on their Facebook page and find something that they've recently posted about and say, oh my gosh, I saw you guys went to the lake fishing. That looks so fun. Where's your favorite fishing hole? And take it totally away and just back to the connection and the relationship, or start building one if you didn't know them, if they were cold market leads from a trade show or something like that. Anyone else? Question or advice?
I have a quick question.
Okay, Miss Myra.
I've been in the Juice Plus business for many years, over 25 years, and I've treated it pretty much like a hobby. And the biggest problem I had is asking people to join the business. And I know that there was a training and a DMO video that was done in the past that I've watched since I joined this group. Any way that you can lead me towards that video that I can kind of refresh myself and kind of build it up? I know I'm a member of couple of networking groups and the chamber, so I have people to talk to. And in my mind, I'm thinking they already have a business, but that's not necessarily so. Just because you have a business doesn't mean you don't want a part-time business to build for retirement or college or whatever. And
Right.
So changing that mind track and getting it, more. I mean, I'm making decisions for them, and that I shouldn't be doing that. They should be making the decisions. So do you have any idea what video it may have been, or can you send me to some training?
Yeah, for sure. Myra, I would like to dig in a little bit more with that, because you said you've always treated this like a hobby. So think through, if you were to invite somebody to be a part of a hobby with you, what does that look like? Versus if you're inviting somebody to partnership in a business like opening a restaurant, so is there still in your mind, I'm doing this as a hobby, hey, would you like to take a painting class with me? Or if you were really business minded and you're opening a restaurant, you would have some things. Okay, this is how much capital it's going to take us. This is the building I'm looking at renting. This is the type of food that we want to cook. This is who I want to hire as the chef. This is the decor idea I have. Like, you would be much more detailed in the business side of things, right? Versus, hey, do you want to go paint or, go throw some pottery at this class that I enjoy doing, or this knitting club that I have, or whatever. So what is it about a hobby that you contribute your Juice Plus business to versus having it as a business? Is there anything that comes to mind that when I'm kind of saying those things?
It's just, and you're exactly right. I was treating it as a business, not as a hobby. And when I think about presenting to them, I'm thinking, oh, business, I have to be making X amount of dollars to entice them into my business, but that's not why I do it. I do it because I love talking to people and I love sharing Juice Plus, and I've done it for over 25 years. And I am known throughout the area. Oh, that's Myra Bruns. That's the Juice Plus lady. And I'm here to say, eat your fruits and vegetables each and every day. And if you don't have time to slice them and dice them, come see me for affordable pricing, because I can get you over 30 different fruits, vegetables, and berries in a capsule or a chewable form. And if you want to grow your own, come talk to me and take a tower garden home. That's my thing. They know who I am, and I'm thinking it's fun. It's just fun, and that's what I was missing. I didn't present it as having fun. And thank you very much, Stacy. That's exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because honestly, Myra, I probably wouldn't, a lot of our people, if we think about coming into this business, if it had been presented to us as like a traditional business, this is, would you like to join this business with me? We have, you want to talk to 10 people a day. You're going to do follow-up calls. You're going to start setting up events. And this is what the events are going to look like. Like if we were presented on like, this is the business side of it, we may not have been attracted so much as, Wendy Campbell's mindset of come on along. Like we're having fun. We're doing this thing. I'm enjoying this. Like, would you like to be a part of it? And people are going to join for different reasons. However, what we do need to make sure is that we have a system in place that we can train up and those new team members. And it's often why people won't invite to their business, because they don't feel confident that they could lead them forward. But here's the thing to remember, guys. Myra, you have a wealth of knowledge about this business. You have a wealth of knowledge about this product. You have 25 years of experience. Like, hello, you're not walking into starting up a new team member like you did when you very first started, right? Like you do know what you're doing. I just want to give you guys that confidence. You do know how to do this. If you know how to get customers, you do know how to get team members. It's really not that different, but you do need some sort of a system of this is the video I'm going to send. Just like when somebody asks you about the product, you have certain videos in mind that you send to people, right, Myra? Like there's a next step with them. And it's not just, hey, I'm going to talk to people and they're going to order Juice Plus. Do you have customers? I know you have a great customer base.
Yeah.
Yes, she has a great, strong customer base, right? So you have a process. When you talk to somebody, you get their information and then you send them a video and then you follow up and then you invite them to events. It's the same thing with our business. I would say the extra piece is connecting them with somebody else to validate what it is that you're saying with them and to kind of give them the bigger picture of the possibilities of what this could look like for them. But I think, Myra, you said something really important. You said you're sort of making the decision for them. And we can look at somebody's life and say, she's got 3 kids. There's no way she's going to want to do this business. She's way too busy for this. She doesn't have time for this. Or, her husband's a captain in the Air Force. They make great money. She does not need this money. What if she needs community? What if she's missing family and friends because she's moving every 2 or 3 years and doesn't have a community that sticks with her? What if somebody's last kid is going to college and, just graduated high school where I'm at? I'm already thinking, okay, now what? Like I have the Juice Plus business, but just looking at even new friendships, like, all right, I've never done golfing, but there's a great golf course 2 minutes from our house. And I have a lot of friends that golf. What if I start golfing just to, I'll have a little bit more time now to meet more people or just to get out. There's people are in different seasons of life and they're looking for something. Let's not make a judgment for them. Myra, you have something really amazing to offer with 25 years of experience and with the confidence that you just shared that with us. Like, all right, I wanted Myra's boat. Like, let's go. So, it's that come on along. And not that we're going to treat it like a hobby. If we're really wanting to do the business, we're going to do serious DMO, but we sort of invite more to, come on along with us. Let's have some fun. Who can we help together? But we also need to know, how does the compensation plan work? The basics of it, so that you can explain to someone who is really super business minded, or at least know where the resources are to send them, so that those that really want to run with this have the resources and the tools they need to. And that's boards. Pretty much anything we need is in boards. Organized so well. Whoever's team you're on has a great board system in place. I already know it. So sort of trust that wisdom and experience, and then just invite and connect them to somebody maybe that's in their same life, picture. So it may not be someone on your team that you connect them with, but if they're a young mom, you want to connect them with another young mom that's also doing this business, so they can see and relate to what she's doing. If they're a teacher, connect them to another teacher. If they're medical professional, try to connect them to a medical professional, something that they're going to relate to.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. And to answer your other question, all of those recordings are on our DMO app, and there's the membership access, and then it's divided into mindset, skill set, activity, and marketing. And so those are all organized in there, but those are probably on the it's either going to be a mindset or activity, as I would guess. Sometimes it's like, where do I put that? It fits into all of the category, the conversation we've had, like today's. Where's this going to go? What category is this one going to go in? All right. Thank you, Myra.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Any other advice for Myra? All right, well, let's end this. And again, thank you guys all for joining us. I will put this on our DMO app, and then also in our Voxer chat. So thank you for joining. It was good to be back with you guys, and we'll talk again next week.
Thanks, Dave.